In this video, we're going to do a quick overview of the CertMS dashboard, and then we're going to set up a Certificate Authority monitor utilizing the Certificate Authority PowerShell script. Don't worry, I'll go through every step of this. So first, we're logged into our CertMS appliance. Let me just go ahead and make sure I've clicked on dashboard here. And yes, I'm still running the 1-month trial, which is perfectly fine. And you can see that this is our dashboard. We have all of the services available to us right here. Web services is what we're currently looking at right now. You'll notice that there is a restart. There is no start because you'll never be able to click the start button. If you stop the web service here, you will lose access to it and you'll have to restart it through the console that I showed you in a previous video. The report service, the host scanner service, and the computer scanner service are all also options here. The report service is what handles all the reporting for CertMS. So if you're having an issue with reporting, one of the options you can try is to stop and restart the service. The host scanner service, this is the service that we'll get into a little bit later, and this scans host URLs. So if you have a public-facing website, the host scanner will scan that site for the certificate and let you know when it's going to expire. The computer scanner service is the service that handles scanning computers and servers. Now, the important thing to know about this one is this service, it's running all the time, but it really only kicks off about every 6 hours. So if you need an immediate rescan of your servers that you have in here, you can do that by stopping and restarting the service. As soon as you do that, it will kick off a new scan of all of your servers that are being monitored. This next card here is certificates expiring this month. Now, I don't have any. We'll adjust a couple so that we can get some certificates in here, but I don't have any at the moment. But once we get some in here, you will notice that we have certificates that are expiring. It will have a link to the certificate so that from this interface, you'll be able to click on the link and take you directly to the certificate. And then over here, we have certificates pending. One of the features and functionality that I was trying to solve with CertMS is this whole piece where you have certificates pending. Microsoft has this great option to where there's an approval process for certain certificate templates when someone issues one or someone requests one. But Microsoft does not have a great solution in terms of monitoring or alerting that there are certificates of pending approval. That's where CertMS can come in and actually provide that type of alerting. So we will see that when we set up our CA monitor very shortly. So any certificates that are actually pending will be listed in here to let you know as soon as you log in that they're certificates that may need approval. So that's the dashboard. So now let's get into kind of the heart of CertMS, and that is really the CA monitor. So if we go to monitors here, we can go to CA monitors. And what you'll see is we have nothing being monitored. Now this is for monitoring certificate authorities. In most cases, again, our lab here has a single root CA and that is it. That is also the issuing CA. In most environments, you're going to have, or you should have, a root CA that is actually turned off and not accessible. And the only thing that CA has done is issued the certificates for the intermediate CAs or the issuing CAs. And then those CAs are the ones that are up and running and basically taking requests from other computers or servers to issue those certificates. That is what we're going to be monitoring. We're not going to be monitoring the root CA because it's going to be turned off, and we don't want to put anything on the root CA. We want to put what we're doing on the issuing CA so that we can monitor. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Add a CA Monitor. I'm going to make it super simple here, and you can see I've already got some stuff saved in here just to make it simple. So the name is whatever you want to name it. In this case, I'm naming it CA, and then the template that I want to monitor, in this case, it's MWC Web 2024. The CA, which is the FQDN, so the fully qualified domain name. So in this case, ca.certms.local. The template that I want to monitor. And then here comes the other piece. So pending cert alerts and issued cert alerts. If you want to get alerts when a certificate is pending approval on a specific template, this is where you're going to put in the email address of the users you want to get that email. If you don't care about that, then you want to leave it empty. In this case, this certificate does not require approval, so I'm going to leave this pending piece empty. Issued certs is if you want to know every time a new cert is issued by the CA for that specific template. I don't recommend doing this, especially initially. When you initially set up a new CA monitor and you start pulling in certificates from that CA, you don't want this turned on because you'll get an email on every single cert that's brought in. But what I recommend doing is setting this up, pulling in all the certificates that the CA has issued, and then if you still want to be monitored on newly issued certs, add the email address in here. For our case, we're going to leave both of these blank, and then we're going to click submit. And now we've got a new CA monitor created. And what this is doing now, this is basically telling, hey, CertMS, listen for any information coming from this server right here. Now, how do we get information from this server to CertMS? We have a monitor script. And we intentionally created it this way to give 100% transparency in what's happening on your CA. So there is this monitor script here. So if I download this guy, you can see I already clearly have him. But let's just come in and we're going to, oops, well, that's not what I wanted. We're going to delete these. And we're going to rename this guy to CA monitor, just like it should be. And now what we want to do is we want to take this script that we just downloaded. There you go. And we want to put this on our issuing CA. So in this case, we're going to put it on ca.certms.local. So I'm going to, however you do it, I'm going to simply do a copy here. And I've already got a remote connection up to our CA over here. So I'm going to come in here. And I probably already have this somewhere, but we're just going to go to desktop and we're going to paste this. So now I have my CA monitor certificate here, or CA monitor script, excuse me. And this is where the transparency comes in. You can feel free to open this certificate or this PowerShell script and go through every bit of it with a fine-tooth comb. There is nothing to hide inside of this PowerShell script. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to support and we can clarify anything. We want you to be completely comfortable with what's going on your issuing certificate authority. I'll give you a quick synopsis here. Basically, this script can do two things. And it's looking for one parameter. It's got one parameter that is completely optional. So it is the switch parameter called install. So if this script gets run with the install switch, then it's going to install, it's going to run this bit of code right here, and it's going to install the scheduled task as expected here. So what you can see, just so we can clarify this, it's going to create a scheduled task that is going to run every 5 minutes, is by default. Feel free to change this at any time. If you want this to run more frequently, if you want it to run less frequently, it's completely optional and up to you. However you want this, however often you want this script to run is what you set it as, what you're comfortable with. So once this install piece is run, you now will have a new scheduled task that will execute this script every 5 minutes. And when the install flag or switch is not done, it's going to run this. And what this is doing is it's running a couple of commands to the CertMS appliance, mainly to get OID information about the template and other information. Then what it's doing is it's actually doing a certutil and for a specific template, and then it's dumping all of this information right here. There's a lot of it. It's sending all of that information to the CertMS appliance. Now, feel free, look through here. Don't change any of this, but feel free to look through and see what's actually being sent. There's nothing in here that is sensitive. Everything in here is going to be the public certificate of, it's going to be the public part of the certificates. So everything in here is going to be public, nothing that's super private. It's the same thing that's going to be on there. There's no keys or anything like that that is getting transferred with this. And then after it sends all that information, it's basically, that's the end of it. So it's going to end. So the key with this script is we want to put this script in a location that it's going to remain. So I think I've already done it, but we're going to go ahead and just, we'll just overwrite this one. So we're going to just copy this, move this script over to here, replace the one that's already there. And now we'll do the install. So if I run PowerShell as an admin, and then I browse to that location. So in this case, cd software, cd ca monitor, and now I can do ca monitor -install. Now that's the install switch. And what you'll see now is when I run this, it's going to say installing. And then very quickly, it is now going to show you that there is a new task name called CertMS CA Monitor. So now if we open up our task scheduler, we can see there's a new folder called CertMS. And in that new folder, we have a new CertMS monitor all ready to go. And in this case, the next runtime is going to be at 12:30, which is in 5 minutes. So exactly that. Again, we can run this at any time if we want to go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead right now. We're going to kick off the first run. And we'll do run. It's running. And refresh. And ready. And that should be it. Now the whole thing should have run. There's not much on the CA, so that's why this one would have been super quick. But now it's set to run every 5 minutes. And again, feel free to come in here. It runs the system account. Feel free to come in and change any of the conditions in here that you want. So let's go ahead and minimize this. And we're going to go back to our dashboard here. Yes, I know. And then let's go to certificates. And you can immediately see all the certificates that we had in our CA are now showing up in our certificates section of CertMS. And if we come in, we can look, we can go 2, 3, you can see it does pagination here. We're showing 10, but if we wanted, we could show 100. And we have this. Now, since we're here and we were talking about the dashboard, I want to do one thing real quick. We're going to take a couple of these test certificates. Let's edit one of these. So if we go into any one of these, we can edit them. So let's come into here and let's just change this valid to. I just want to change this. We normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to change this just because I want it to show up for this month. So we're going to do 03 20 2024. There we go. And we're going to save, submit. There we go. And now if we go back to the dashboard, we can see that the test certificate is going to expire this month, 3/20. And in the newer version, this is actually one small rev back. In the next rev, this will actually be a link that you can click on to take you to your actual cert. Now, in some quick preparation for a couple of other upcoming videos, let's go ahead and we're going to change a couple of these as well. So we have a couple of certs that are expiring. Yep. And let's just pick let's just pick one more. Hey, look, we did this one. This is the one we did today. Let's go ahead and just do this one. That'll work. Submit that. Good. Now, if we go back, we can see we have 3 certs that are listed as going to expire. Perfect. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about servers and server monitoring.